So now that we're getting more and more comfortable with Flipgrid, I want to just show you a few extra features that could potentially be very helpful for you. When you're in your Flipgrid dashboard or your educator's homepage, you're going to see each of your grids listed, and then you're going to see an Actions drop-down menu. This Actions drop-down has a few features that might be helpful for you. It's the place where you can go edit the grid. You can also delete the grid if you no longer want that. But another feature that you might like would be the one that says add a co-pilot. A co-pilot would be your co-teacher. You can add their email in here by just putting their first dot last name at lynbrookschools.org, and that would allow them to go in and create and edit in your grid as well. Another feature that is really helpful is the possibility of duplicating this grid. So when I go to duplicate a grid, it's going to tell me that only the topics in Miss Kelly's art class will be included and no videos will be duplicated. So this is a really excellent feature if you want to be able to copy a grid over into the next school year. It would also be pretty helpful if you are a high school teacher and you've created a grid and all of your topics for, let's say, your period 1 class, and now you wanted to duplicate that grid to be useful for a period 2 class. So if I went and I duplicated that grid, it's going to tell me that it might take a while. It depends upon how many topics and responses you had in there. So once it gets to the point that it finishes duplicating it, it's going to allow me to go in and edit it. It's telling me my request is pending, but it's going to appear in my grids once it's finished duplicating. So now I see here that this is a duplicate, and you can notice it has a different flip code from my original one. So if I want to go in and edit this and change the name to be reflective of a different period, I can do that. I can also then go and change my flip code if I wanted to do that. I could run through all of my other settings, and then I can update my grid. So it's going to bring me right into this new grid that I created. So now you'll see that this is period 2, and it brought over all of those topics already. As far as the topics go, remember at any time you can go to your active drop down and turn it from active to hidden, meaning the students will never be able to see it, or to frozen, which means that the students will be able to view your topic and any responses that are there, but they will no longer be able to add anything to that. Another nice feature within the topic is the ability to be able to duplicate this topic. So for instance, if you've already created multiple grids for each of the sections that you teach and you want to be able to duplicate this topic, you're going to select which grid you want it to be posted to. So for instance, if I'm in my period 2, maybe I want that to be duplicated into a completely different grid. Once I do that, it's going to ask me what I would like to keep. So the first one is the topic only, meaning that there's not going to be any student responses in there. And the other one would bring over featured responses. So that's up to you. When you duplicate the topic, it will then put it into whatever grid you just selected. Right up top, you will also just remember that your flip code is right there. And there's always these drop-down menus that you can refer to.